I have COVID. Yes, it's honestly not something I ever thought I'd hear coming out of my mouth. What's more, my sons had COVID. My husband has COVID. How can someone process that? Well, honestly, I don't know. I wasn't ready to have to process that, let alone have to experience what we've gone through. Yet here I am. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Diana Lopez. Wellness has been a huge part of my life for a long time now. To be honest, at 33 years old, I've had more experiences with health issues than I'd like to admit. Yet, it has been those experiences that have taught me the importance and the value of taking care of your health, of living a healthy lifestyle. Unfortunately, COVID apparently didn't get the memo that my family and I are overall healthy, and it came knocking at our door. Granted, I was doing my part, my family was doing their part. For months, we had been following the guidelines and the recommendations given. We did everything we were supposed to do. We took social distancing very seriously. We wanted to and yearned those get-togethers and family parties and just being around others. But we knew the importance of social distancing. Our circle was small, family only, and the family of two of our closest friends. That was pretty much it. Masks became a normal thing. Wearing gloves, going to the grocery store was part of life. Even if I got the weird looks every now and then, I didn't mind it. What I'm trying to say is, I know that those close to me, as well as my family, we were doing what we felt and knew was right in order to minimize getting this gruesome virus. Still, we couldn't outrun it. About a little bit over 2 weeks ago, we were told that one of our family members had unfortunately tested positive for COVID. While our contact was minimal, we felt that it was the responsible thing to do to get tested ourselves. So we did. To our surprise, when we went in, got tested, the boys tested positive. Right away, we went into immediate lockdown. My sons are 13 and 14 years old, and like I mentioned earlier, overall healthy. They had been running the week before and doing chores around the house, helping their dad. They had not been really experiencing symptoms. They had been okay for the most part. There was one day when my youngest son, he complained of being a little bit achy, but that was pretty much it. We honestly didn't really think much of it that time. Fortunately, their symptoms were mostly mild. They didn't lose their sense of taste or smell. They could breathe okay for the most part. The fatigue, well, that was a big one. And their headaches, that one too. Also, one of them had a lot of joint pain. He said he felt like he couldn't move his legs because his knees hurt so much. And the other one, he slept almost the entire day and didn't move. He barely wanted to eat and complained of headaches. And not wanting to eat, that's a big thing because my boys want to eat like all the time, especially during running season. As a mom, I worried for them. I prayed they wouldn't get worse. I took care of them the best that I could. I had teas brewing, I had essential oils running. In the end, I knew that they were in God's hands. Then something fell off one day. About 4 days after they tested positive, I began experiencing this nasty headache. It came like a rushing wave. I wasn't expecting it. I was okay, and then it started hurting. I thought maybe I wasn't eating enough or I was dehydrated. Unfortunately, it wasn't either of those. The headache wouldn't go away. It was like if I attempted to move to one side or the other, I felt like somebody was pounding on my skull, and the throbbing was there, whether I was sitting down or standing up or laying. It was awful. That night, my body began to ache, like really, really ache. You know how I mentioned those health issues at the beginning? Well, one of those health issues is Hashimoto's. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. It's an autoimmune condition over 12 years ago. And one of its symptoms is that it causes joint pain. Well, that joint pain I was feeling was like that joint pain of Hashimoto's, but on steroids. It was awful. I remember that night, my husband, we were already in bed, sleeping, and he turned over to hug me. And just the touch of his skin against mine hurt so much that I started sobbing, and I couldn't keep the tears from coming. The pain was just deep in my bones. It hurt. I knew something was wrong. The next day, I hurt all over, but I refused to let it get to me. So I remember I had some pain medication from a dentist visit a few months ago, and I popped one of those suckers and I just kept going with my day. I did what I needed to do and got through the day, but it was at a high price. Unfortunately, the next day, the pain had become unbearable. There was no disguising it. There was no hiding it. There was no point to hiding it. They could tell something was wrong. The boys, my husband, I pretty much couldn't move. I managed to make it down from my room to the couch, and I pretty much laid on the couch the entire day. My head hurt. I couldn't move my head. I couldn't move my body. I knew then there was no denying it. The sneaky virus had gotten to me. There were not enough disinfecting wipes in this entire house to keep me from becoming its victim. And I began thinking, what next? What if David, my husband, gets it? What if I get worse? What if the boys get it again if they had already recovered from it? Obviously, I went in to get tested the next day. I had a telemed conference with my doctor, and sure enough, it was positive. By then, I had shortness of breath, and I felt extremely congested. It was like I couldn't breathe. I had a hard time having a conversation. You know the saying, like, you feel like you were ran over by a truck? Well, I've never experienced that. I don't think anybody who has could speak to it, but anyway, I felt like that expression was so fitting for how I was feeling at the moment. I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, my head hurt, I felt tired and exhausted. I thought, what else? At least I could still taste food, right? Well, that was a short-lived victory, because unfortunately the next day I got up, went to eat, and couldn't taste or smell anything. I will say I felt awful for several days, but I will also say that I thank God because it didn't get to the point of having to go to the hospital. When I talked to my doctor, she warned me that due to my immune system being compromised, if the difficulty breathing got worse, that they would potentially have to resort to other options. Thank God that didn't happen. Unfortunately, my fear of my husband contracting the virus became real. It was almost inevitable, but how I wish I could have prevented that from happening. This man rarely gets sick. He is tough as nails and brave as a lion. I mean, one day he almost cut his finger off doing some work outside, and that same night, after getting it bandaged up, he wanted to go out and work again. Like, he's just that brave and that strong. But the virus didn't care, and it got to him. His symptoms were similar to mine, but they were mild like the boys, which was a great thing. Still, he felt it. He still has some congestion to this day, but for the most part, the body aches and the headaches, they're gone. Me? Well, that's why I'm here today. I'm finally beginning to feel more like myself. I still can't do the workouts that I had been doing, my live streams, but I'm hopeful that I will be getting there soon. I attempted a workout last week, and I think I got through like 25 minutes of it, and I felt like I had been working out for 2 hours. But I'm taking baby steps, and that's okay. My energy levels are finally rising, so I feel like I'm getting there. I can speak in complete sentences without having to stop midway to catch my breath, for the most part, which is a great thing. And I just praise God because I feel like I made it through the toughest part of this experience, and we're getting to that other side. I decided to make this video because I felt strongly compelled to share my story and experiences with COVID. What we have gone through for the last 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, with my family. If you're watching this via YouTube and you know nothing else about me, trust me, this is not the first video that I wanted to put out there. But these are the cards that I've been dealt, and that's okay. So instead of hiding away or coming back like nothing, I'm choosing to turn this test that we've endured and we've gone through into a testimony. There is so much talk about this topic. There are news about it every day, wherever you look. There are opinions and there are facts. There are experts and self-proclaimed experts. There is pain and skepticism. There is reality and there's assumption. The truth is that I'm not here to tell you to feel one way or the other in regards to this matter. I'm not trying to sway you or convince you to do or think anything. I simply want to share my experience with something I heard about and I knew of, but like many others thought, oh, but it won't happen to me though. And call it being naive or being hopeful, somewhere down the line, somehow I let my guard down and I was reached by this uninvited guest. I pray my sons, my husband and I will not get it again. I pray neither my family nor my friends will have to go through that, through what we went through, or even worse. The truth is, I am beyond grateful because although what I went through was no walk in the park, I am fortunate enough to be here, to be able to talk about it. There are hundreds of thousands of people around the world who could not do the same, who are not able to do the same. And my heart breaks for those families and their loved ones whose battle with this unseen evil did not end like mine. Today, I choose to speak with them in mind, in my heart. With a humble heart and the utmost respect, I simply want to say, please know that regardless of how you feel about COVID, as unseen as it might seem, it is not going unfelt. It is affecting people every day. It is altering the course of our life. So whether you choose to go out and about or wear a mask or be confined to the walls of your house, will you please choose to do so in a kind and respectful way? Can we all please be a bit more compassionate? Can we stop to listen, to love, and to be there for each other? Yes, even at a distance, we can do that. In the words of the Apostle Paul, may we be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And I feel that I need to end with this because I realized that it was kindness and compassion from those around us that helped us get through these last few weeks. Yes, things as answers to prayer, as a meal, as bringing some sort of tea or mixed remedy to help you get through it. We felt so much love. We felt so encouraged and uplifted through every little thing and gesture and showing of love that we received. And there are some really good tips that I received and advice that we received, things that helped us a lot throughout this last few weeks. There's one remedy, I would say, in particular that, or I don't know what the word would be, this concoction, we called it, that helped us, that we feel that really strengthened our immune system. And I would love to share that with you guys. So if that's something that interests you, that you want to know about, please know, by no means am I an expert. Just because we got through this does not mean that I've become an expert, that I know it all. I don't. But I feel that there are certain things that somehow helped my family and I would love to share them with you guys because it might somehow help somebody else. So if that's something that you would want to hear about, please let me know. This is it for my first YouTube video and long video, I guess I would say, that is not a workout related. So please continue to join us, follow us, and be with us on this journey. I hope to share much more with you guys. So thank you and have an awesome day.